Knights of Favonius, always so inefficient.
Agree to disagree, but your involvement in this just made things a whole lot more interesting.
Who is Diluc? He may be the one who ruins your 50/50s, the tycoon of a winery empire in Mondstadt, the dedicated knight in the Knights of Favonius, or the child who was a victim of his father's negligence. Hello, I'm Salami, and today, in honor of the Darknight hero's birthday, we are going to dig a little deeper into this mysterious man's lore. Hope you enjoy. Being born into one of the known noble families in Mondstadt, the Dragonvindr clan, Diluc is the current owner of the Dawn Winery, and is fairly popular among the citizens in the City of Freedom. His elusive and mysterious nature only proceeds to cause more people to fawn over him.
Gosh, all I can think about is Diluc.
Diluc is a tall and slender man with pale skin, red eyes, and bright red hair, worn in a low ponytail that extends down past his shoulders. His tired expression usually makes him appear unimpressed, annoyed, or even hateful to some degree. Though, in my opinion, the strenuous training that his father made him go through, and the years of maintaining the Dawn Winery's business, may be the reason behind his exasperated look. Wearing a black dress shirt, a long white vest, and a black ascot with a red jet, he dons a dark brown coat. He wears black pants which are embellished with chains on his right thigh, while his vision is attached to a belt. Diluc also wears cuffed, dark brown boots and a pair of black gloves, which he has a habit of adjusting, as seen in his character artwork. His outfit, Darknight Blaze, is described to be a smart and tasteful suit fit for a nobleman. When Master Crepus, Diluc's father, was young, he dreamed of joining the Knights of Favonius. However, he didn't pass the entrance exams. As Crepus realized his son also had the same dream as he did in the past, he wished that Diluc would become the most esteemed knight of all and safeguard Mondstadt. This caused him to train rigorously to make himself worthy of the Dragonvindr name. After years of work, he passed the Knights of Favonius' trials, swore the oath of protection to Mondstadt, and entered their ranks. Before long, he received an early promotion which made him the youngest ever cavalry captain. In his second character story, it is made clear that Diluc valued his father's praise above all. Hearing the words, "Good job, now that's my son," it set his innermost fire ablaze, and it served as his greatest motivation. 4 years ago, Crepus Dragonvindr came into the possession of a pyro delusion. In the manga, the delusion takes the form of a gem that somewhat resembles a pyro vision, that is secured onto a left-handed glove with a ring on the middle finger. Normally, you'd either see an elemental symbol, which means it's a vision, or the Fatui emblem, which means it's a delusion. However, the case doesn't apply to Crepus's strange delusion, as it has a large circle with another smaller circle towards the bottom. It looks very suspicious, and seeing as every design in Genshin has a reason, I think the lore behind his delusion will be revealed soon enough. I also believe that since Torre, one of the Fatui Harbingers who studied at Sumeru Academia, may be one of the reasons why Crepus had a delusion in the first place. The reason may be uncovered in the truth amongst the pages of Purana, the upcoming storyline for Sumeru. When activated, it forms barbed chains that sprout from the palm of the glove, allowing them to seize large and powerful creatures like Ursa the Drake. These chains can optionally be surrounded by black fire, as seen when Crepus used it to fight Ursa the Drake. When Diluc uses it to apprehend Krupp, the black fire is not present, but it reappears when he fights the Fatui personnel while posing as the mastermind behind the Blackfire incident. Jules' share, which is Chapter 7, Dusty Chest, Part 1, Kreppis holds a celebration with others for his son's 16th birthday. He and Diluc leave the tavern after the party to return home before the rain comes. On the road home, they encounter Ursa the Drake, the draconic creature that terrorized Mondstadt for more than 1,000 years. Attacking the wagons they were traveling with, many workers were killed in the process. Therefore, Kreppis used his delusion to protect his son and defeat Ursa. Kreppis defended Diluc till the end. Though he was able to drive off Ursa with the power of the delusion, he did so at the cost of his life. Shortly after the incident, the delusion's power caused Kreppis' body to begin disintegrating. To spare him the agonious process, Diluc quickly finished his father off, fading away in his arms. His fire has been extinguished. The Knights of Favonius, led by Kaeya, witnessed this, having arrived too late to help. Later that day, distraught over the death of his adopted father and his own life of secrecy, Kaeya would confess his Conrian origins to Diluc, which resulted in a fight that drove the brothers apart. After returning to the Knights of Favonius' headquarters, Diluc received an unthinkable order from Inspector Irok: conceal the truth, to cover up the fact that Ursa was repelled by his father, a citizen and not a knight, in order to save face for Mondstadt. Disgusted by the order, he thought it was worthless to argue. The world would never turn its back on the faithful, his father once said. Diluc bitterly resigned from the Knights of Favonius. When he recognized his own powerlessness, his vision became but a burden, of no greater service than of delusion. So, he discarded his vision. He then handed the responsibilities of the Dawn Winery over to Adeline and left Mondstadt. He traveled across the 7 nations of Tevat, searching for the truth, and all the clues he found pointed towards the Fatui. He learned that they made counterfeit visions in secret, calling them delusions. A delusion could amplify the power of its bearer to its extreme, but also carried the risk of backfiring. That was what had caused his father's death. Diluc knew he may never know the full truth, but that could never stop him from pursuing it. Like an eagle scouring the wilderness, he set off his hunt for the truth. Determination burned like fire in his heart. Unfathomable enigmas and unending battles could not sway him from his course. He pressed on relentlessly, scarred but undeterred, like a fiery tornado burning through the dense fog of mystery. The Fatui's rulers, the Harbingers, monitored Diluc's progress from the shadows. The prowess with which he laid waste to numerous Fatui strongholds caught their attention and forced them to take action. Diluc narrowly escaped death at the hands of the Harbingers, thanks to a third-party observer from Shaznia, who was a part of a vast underground intelligence network. The observer claimed to have been watching Diluc for some time, and approved of his methods. After his close encounter with death, Diluc took a long, hard look at his past and the anger he had harbored for so long. Acknowledging his shortcomings, he decided to join the underground intelligence network. Just like when he first joined the Knights of Favonius, Diluc committed himself truly to his work. His talent and skills saw him rise steadily through the ranks into the upper echelons of the network. The network was made up of volunteers, and many of its members had willingly gave up their prior positions and reputations to join. Some had even abandoned their names. Diluc's pursuit of the truth lasted for 3 years. After his pursuit of the truth, Diluc returned to Mondstadt and took over as head of the family winery, now a young man. In the space of these 4 years, Inspector Erok had been purged from the Knights of Favonius after being shown to be a traitor, while Grandmaster Varka had left on an expedition. leaving Master Jean to assume the role of acting Grand Master. The return of the Dawn Winery's master should have been a momentous occasion for Mondstadt, but strangely, it went completely unnoticed. Turns out, Mondstadt's citizens were far too busy pondering the mysterious case of an unknown guardian of Mondstadt. All that was known about the mysterious hero was that the smell of burning would follow in his wake, and that a flash of red flames would reveal his silhouette for but a moment in the darkness of the night, before he disappeared in an instant. The bodies of monsters that had plagued Mondstadt for an age now lay dead in the wilderness. Mondstadt's most wanted thieves suddenly appeared bound and gagged, hanging from their feet in the statue plaza. All the Knights of Favonius were dispatched to reckon, once and for all, with the abyss mage behind countless crimes of the city. But they arrived only to discover that he had long since been killed. Word of the mysterious guardian spread swiftly, and he came to be known as the Darknight hero. In public, Diluc appeared to hold this hero in contempt, his face curling up in disgust every time the name was uttered. Elzer of the Mondstadt Wine Guild was one of the select few who was in the know, and once queried Diluc about his new name, to which the man replied, "It's just a stupid name." After his father's death, he has been suppressing himself, despite coming off as bitter and grumpy through his speech. He has a gentle, tender, and modest nature. In his childhood, Diluc had a light-hearted and happy nature, rather to the contrary of him now. In my opinion, Diluc has one of the more tragic backstories, albeit he's doing fine right now. It just sometimes shatters my heart into pieces when I see baby Diluc's happy face, only for his happiness to disappear along his father's body. God, don't remind me of that. It just hurts me a lot, man. Well, I hope you enjoyed this lengthy video, and I hope you learned something new, because I sure did while I was researching this whole thing, okay? Alright, have a good day, and stay safe, everyone. See ya!